Mr. President, as chairman of the Subcommittee on Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education-related agencies, I just want to take a few moments to go over the bill that we have before us that's in the so-called minibus. Now, I wish at the beginning that the Senate could have voted and debated the Labor H bill, as we call it, individually, rather than having it as a part of the so-called minibus. Unfortunately, it's now December. We still have to complete the health care bill, and quite frankly, we've run out of time. However, I want to assure my colleagues that the Labor HHS Appropriations bill is a bipartisan bill. We work closely with Senator Cochran and his staff to reflect Democratic and Republican priorities alike. That's a tradition in our subcommittee and one that we take very seriously. In fact, the full Appropriations Committee approved our bill by a vote of 29-1. You can't do much better than that to accommodate the concerns of both parties. I also want to assure senators that this is a fiscally responsible bill. Overall, our bill increases discretionary spending by just 2% over the fiscal year 2009 appropriations bill for labor, health, and human services and education. With money so tight, we had to be very selective about which programs received increases. One high priority is worker protections. Agencies that enforce rules protecting the health, safety, and rights of workers have been seriously shortchanged in recent years. This bill adds $121 million over last year's level and brings staffing levels at the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, the Employee Benefits Administration, and the Employment Standards Administration. It brings the staffing levels back to where they were in 2001, quite frankly. This means that the agencies will have the resources they need to prevent wage theft and ensure safe workplaces for our nation's workers. Fraud and abuse from mandatory benefit programs such as unemployment insurance, Medicare, and Social Security. These anti-fraud, anti-abuse measures could result in over $48 billion in savings and increased revenues over the next 10 years. Another priority we had was getting people back to work. This bill provides an increase of $72 million, or 43% increase, for nurse training programs, including a new program to train nursing home aides and home health aides. This bill also provides a major increase, $260 million, for the national service programs. This will boost the number of AmeriCorps members significantly and create a new social innovation fund that will help small nonprofits tackle a host of social programs and problems. In the area of education, increases are targeted to programs that are designed to reform schools, such as performance-based pay for teachers and principals, charter schools, and a comprehensive new literacy program. Providing increases such as the ones I've described meant making some tough choices. Our bill eliminated 11 duplicative and ineffective programs, and we cut several others. Now, not everyone will be happy with all those decisions. I may not really be happy with all of them, but we did the best we could. We struck the compromises, and I stand by the outcome. I also support the other 5 bills in this minibus, if I might say that. I've worked very closely with our colleagues on the Appropriations Committee. I want to particularly thank Senator Murray regarding her work to allow fiscal year 09 community development block grant funds to be used as a match for other federal programs. The reason this is important is because many states and local governments were hard hit by both a disaster, a natural disaster, such as the floods in Iowa, and the poor economy. And they would have great difficulty providing a federal match requirements without this modification. So I thank Senator Murray for putting that in her bill. I also want to thank Senator Durbin for the inclusion of a provision regarding auto dealers. In my state, there are a number of decisions that were made by General Motors to close down certain dealerships that met the criteria set down by General Motors for staying in business. So I hope this provision that Senator Durbin put in will allow for needed fairness for a number of these family businesses. So again, I believe the package of bills that we have before us are fiscally responsible. They move our country in the right direction, and I hope the Senate will approve them as soon as possible. so we can send them to the President. With that, Mr. President, I yield the floor.